So the instruments come to be assembled. They're delivered in mainly three parts: the base, the column, and the instrument mechanism. We also have a set of keys, Allen keys. There's just two keys, one big one for this, and one small one is to adjust the friction, which I'll show later. There's also a cable, which is a simple USB printer cable, and an adapter. So I'll show you how to put them together. We take the groove out of the column. There's a hole. There's a hole. There we go. And then just align the holes. And here, align the hole. And then the screw should just fit in. Okay. If it feels a bit tight, you can just move the column a little bit until the screw goes through. Okay. Lock it. Don't kill the thread, just make it firm. Don't over tighten. Now that should be the base and column assembled. Next step is the instrument. The instrument, be careful with it, don't drop it. It's a delicate instrument, precision instrument with electronics. Unloose the locking knob. Place over the column and slide down. Now, there's two friction screws on the back here. This is what the small key is for. These, you can make more friction for the sliding by tightening it, which is a clockwise movement, or less friction by anti-clockwise movement. And now you can see less friction, it starts to fall on its own. And you want it so that the instrument doesn't fall and damage itself when you unlock, just in case you forget any time you unlock it and you're not holding it. So when you unlock it, it shouldn't fall. You should just apply some pressure to be able to slide it. Friction, lock. When we deliver the instrument, we always wind the fine height adjustment all the way up to the top. So it's locked at the top now, it can't go any further. So it can only go down. That's just to help protect it during transport. So fine height adjustment is here and down. This is the calipers for the brackets, and this measures the thickness, but we lock it here for transport. This we have to turn half a turn, and now we can move this. If I lock it, we can't move this. Half a turn, now we can check thickness measurements. Okay, cable. There's a simple printer cable, adapter, 220 or 110, doesn't matter, same. Put the USB end into the adapter, and the printer end into the instrument. There's only one way it can fit, and the instrument should come on when we switch up. The measurements are in 0.1 of a millimetre for both thickness and height. On the front there's two buttons, one with a H, one with a T. These buttons serve to zero when we want to measure. So before we measure, we can zero the thickness. Now that is at 0 millimetres. and then as we open it up, it measures the distance from the jaw to the bracket holder. And that's what we need to measure the thickness from the slot of the bracket to the vestibular part of the tooth. Very important for the lingual. Not important for the labial. Height we can measure. At any point we decide we can zero the height. And then when we turn clockwise, anti-clockwise, it will go down, clockwise it will go up. Okay. So we can measure the height from the occlusal surface of the teeth, or any point we want to measure from. So the thickness goes to about 20 millimeters opening before it will just read over. That just means you've gone past the end of the sensor. When we're placing the bracket, always close the jaws. Close the jaws with the finger and slide the slot. The jaws are sprung and they hold the bracket quite firmly here. That's for placing the bracket. Then we need to be able to move this up and down enough to measure the tooth. If we move it up and it says down, then we need to use the gross height adjustment because it's too low. And then we can, for instance, I want to measure this tooth. I want to place a bracket on this tooth. So we come down with a fine height adjustment. Always a gross height adjustment, we should stop above the tooth. This should be reading already, so it should have numbers on it here. So it should have some numbers. And then the gross height adjustment, we don't want to come down to the tooth in case you damage the tooth. So you should lock it just above the tooth and then use the fine height adjustment to come down until you get contact with the cusp, or until you align it with the part that you want to measure from. That's part of the lab technique. This is just showing you how the instrument works. So we get a light contact here, and then you can zero, and then we can measure height. So for instance, if I wanted to place this bracket at 3.5 millimeter, I would stop at 3.5, and then I can use the instrument to bring the bracket to the tooth, whichever thickness we want to place, because that's part of the lab technique as well. That's in another video. This is just showing you how to use the instrument. Down, 4. Okay. After we've bonded the bracket, then we use this to release the pressure from it. So we hold that while we pull away, and the bracket will then, the jaws will slide out of the bracket with no friction, because it's difficult to get our fingernail underneath. Okay. That is the BPI. Very easy to use. Now you just need to learn the lab technique to know about lingual or labial indirect bonding. But the instrument, very easy to use.